Happy Monday, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Sonnet, the owner and creator behind Sonnet's Garden Blooms. And in today's video, we are thinking all things spring again. Honestly, I am so over the winter here in Wisconsin. So let's dive in and create some spring projects. For this first project, we are going to be working with tulips because tulips are one of the very first hints that winter is finally letting go. I found these two baskets at the Goodwill bins. They have a beautiful shape to them. I love the texture, but I felt like they just needed a little something special. So today we're going to use the new IOD Tulips mold, air dry clay, to add just a bit of dimension to give these baskets that romantic garden inspired feel. Before I press in my clay, I do like to lightly dust the mold with cornstarch. This really helps the casting release cleanly and really show all those beautiful details of that tulip. I'm using IOD air dry clay because it really does truly capture all that beautiful detail. It's lightweight, which makes it perfect for applying to something like this, like a basket. And then look at all that detail. You can already see all that beautiful detail in those petals. And now let's start painting. I do like to paint all my pieces before applying them to my project. For the base color of the tulips, I'm using Fusion Mineral Paint in Buttermilk Cream. I just wanted something soft and romantic, just that gentle creamy spring tone. For the stems and leaves, I'm using Everett, and it's just the prettiest muted green and just feels very natural. I just didn't want anything too bright. One of the things I love about Fusion is that it is self-leveling. It has a built-in top coat, so it's very durable. I don't have to come back and seal it again. It's just honestly perfect for this type of project. Once everything is dry, I'm using Teapot to adhere the tulips directly to the basket. This is definitely one of my go-to glues, and I use it all the time for projects like this. A pro tip for you when using Teapot: apply it to the center of the mold and feather it to the edges. Now that they're attached, I don't want to leave them flat. I love combining two different shades of yellow, a lighter and then a slightly darker tone, and this creates contrast and depth. I'll put a little of each color onto a dish, and instead of mixing them fully, I'll pull from both sides and I'll blend them slightly to create a third in between shade. Then I just start layering and blending directly on the tulips. I'll deepen areas near the base of the petals and lightly highlight the raised edges. Even subtle contrasts like that make just a huge difference. I do the same thing with the leaves, layering a deeper green with a softer tone to just really create movement and dimension. Nature isn't just one flat color, and I don't want my molds to be like that either. I really want them to look natural and realistic. Once everything is completely dry, I'm going in with Sweet Pickins dark oil wax. And you guys, this truly is one of my favorite go-to products. I'll brush it over the entire tulip and the leaves, making sure to get it down into all those beautiful details. I do let it sit for about 10 minutes so it can really settle in and absorb.
After that, I come back with a piece of paper towel and gently wipe away the excess. And you can see instantly how it really brings out all that beautiful detail. I absolutely love it. Now, if you guys are curious about any of the products I'm using today, the molds, paints, clay, or wax, I do carry everything on my website, and I'll have it linked in the description below. For project 2, I found this beautiful silver teapot, and it has such gorgeous detail. So instead of polishing it, I decided I wanted to completely transform it into something soft and romantic for spring. I'm starting with DIY's paint in the color Crinoline. It's a clay-based paint which gives you that soft velvety finish, but it's perfect for this type of surface. Once applied and sealed, it turns rock hard. Once my base is dry, I'm going in with a new IOD paint inlay called Hameau de la Reine. This inlay, you guys, has the most beautiful soft blues, and I knew it would be perfect against the warmth of that crinoline. I'm applying a blue tulip from the inlay right to the front of the teapot. I just love using a single focal image on a piece like this. It really gives your eye a place to land and lets the design truly shine. As you can see, I cut around the petals. This is going to make it easier to apply the paint inlay to a curved surface. Applying a paint inlay is super easy. Typically, you apply the first coat and then in the second coat, apply the paint inlay. Because I'm using crinoline, which was a lighter shade, I did 2 coats, and then this is the third coat that I'm applying the paint inlay in. While the paint is wet, I then grab my paint inlay. I mist it with my spray bottle to activate the paint on that paint inlay, and then I lay it down into the wet paint. I take my fingers and just rub it all over to gently smooth it into that wet paint. And then I mist it with the spray bottle to make sure that the inlay itself is completely saturated but not sopping wet. And then I take a damp rag and I embed it into that wet paint, and now we let it dry. Once it's dry, I do take my spray bottle and re-mist the paint inlay. And the key here is you want to make sure that backing paper is fully wet before you start peeling. Once it's fully wet, I then take a rag and I wipe away the excess water, and then I start peeling it back to reveal that beautiful paint inlay. And you guys, this is truly so satisfying watching the paint inlay be peeled back. Once the paint inlay is completely dry, it's time to seal the piece. I'm using DIY's Big Top. Now this is the important part. I hear all the time that your paint inlays are smearing. Most of the time that happens for just 2 reasons. Either the brush is too dry or the brush strokes are just too heavy. What I recommend is loading your brush generously with your top coat. So don't go in with a barely damp brush. You actually want enough product on there so you're not dragging. and then using a very light hand, gently lay the top coat over the surface. Think of it as more of like floating it rather than brushing it. For the very last step, I'm bringing in Fusion's mineral paint in the color Liberty Blue. I'm applying it to the knob on top and the feet on the teapot. Just these small touches, but they make such a difference. Liberty Blue has that classic French blue feel, and it just gives your piece that French country charm that feels so perfect for spring. For project 3, now this one might make a few of you nervous. Typically, I wouldn't upcycle a vintage thermos. Some of them are just too good to touch, but this one came from the bins, and honestly guys, it wasn't something that was gonna ever fit into my decor. It had that dark brown, almost board-like look, and I knew it could be so much more. So instead of letting it sit completely forgotten, I decided to transform it. I'm starting with Fusion Mineral Paint in Raw Silk. It's the perfect soft, warm neutral. It's not too white, not too yellow, just a beautiful clean base. I'm applying 2 coats to fully cover that dark brown surface. I want to add a little age to this piece. This technique that I learned, it was from Connie at the Painted Photographer. She was experimenting with different products and discovered that extra bond can actually create a crackle effect when layering under milk paint or clay-based paint. I'm applying extra bond randomly across the surface, not everywhere because I don't want full crackle. Once my extra bond is dry, I'm going in with DIY's Little Black Dress. I'm applying just 1 coat. I don't need it heavy. I just want enough coverage over that extra bond. To encourage crackle, I did gently use a heat gun. As it starts to dry, you can actually watch it crackle. Now that I have the perfect crackle, I do want to go in and just add a little wet distressing. I lightly dampen a cloth and just randomly wipe here and there just to make it look a little bit more aged. I then seal the entire piece with DIY's Big Top. This locks in the crackle and the distressing and gives me a smooth surface for the transfer. I first selected a design that was the perfect shape for that thermos, and then of course I had to add a few bees. I have honestly been slightly obsessed with bees lately. I don't know, I might be one step away from becoming a honeybee keeper. But those little bees just add the perfect touch and charm. They soften that bold black and really just bring that whole piece to life. Now that I have the transfer down, I seal everything one last time with DIY's Big Top, and just like that, something I would have passed by now feels collected, layered, and full of spring charm.
I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and remember tonight at 6 o'clock, Tara and I do go live. So every Monday at 6, grab your scraps. If you missed my podcast last Thursday, I talked about how we all have a ton of scraps, and I created the Sonnet Scraps Challenge. So grab your scraps tonight. Come join us and let's create and use up all those possibilities. So that's what's happening tonight at 6. I will have another podcast go live on Thursday, so I'll be watching for that. And you guys, I will be back next Monday for another probably thrift flip video. I'm having so much fun flipping the items. Oh, and can't forget, Wednesday, Whatnot Wednesday, you guys. Join me over on Whatnot at 10 o'clock. I am kicking off our Bloomer Raid Train. That is awesome. So if you haven't dove into Whatnot yet, head on over. I always have a coupon. I'll have it in the description below. A coupon where I believe it's so much free. You get so many spending dollars from me if you head on over there and make your first purchase. So I'll have that in the description for you guys as well. But we'll see you guys next Monday. Have a good one. Bye.